Appreciate you guys being here, man. It's
Absolutely,
awesome.
man.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
Coach Schwartz. Coach, once you get started, how things are looking right now preseason?
Well, it's an exciting time. This is a good time of year, I think, around the country. Everyone's really excited to have the first day of practice. Some teams actually started yesterday, but because of the way the days work out for us, you get 30 opportunities to practice or scrimmage within a 42-day period before your first game. So practice number one, we're ready for the next step. We've had summer, fall, and now we're here in the regular season. It's great.
You guys have had workouts. How has kind of the acclimation process been through that period? Do you feel like you're in a decent spot going into practice?
Yeah, I hope we're in a better than decent spot,
Right.
but we're going to get healthy right now. Hopefully, we've been a little banged up through the fall. A couple injuries that were nagging at the end of summer kind of lingered into the fall. Feel like we're getting back there right now, Stephen. And the biggest thing that we tried to establish is what we wanted to do on the defensive end this fall. And the conditioning aspect of the pace of play that we want on both sides of the ball. So I think we're getting close, but we have such a long way to go, obviously. And today we start the next chapter.
Seems like recruiting's gone pretty good early on here, especially considering you haven't played a game yet.
Yeah, I mean, recruiting is always just, it's the bloodline of any program. And so that never stops. And it doesn't matter if you're in the off season, the summer, the preseason, it doesn't make a difference. Recruiting doesn't stop in terms of trying to do what's best for the program and making sure that our guys and our staff does such a great job getting out there and evaluating and getting a chance to, see potentially future players, your future student athletes. And so that's been nice that we've gotten off to a good start.
New staff, so many new players. Like each day of practice feels like it's going to be so valuable, not only for you guys, but the players to kind of establish themselves. Is that kind of the message right now?
Yeah, and I don't think we're anywhere near having a rotation what we want. I think we're still at the point where everybody is competing, and competition is what we need to be about. Every day we have to find a way to get better. Every day we have to find a way to compete at a higher and higher level. Nothing's been established through the summer and through the fall. Some guys have had stronger summers than others, and some guys have made some headway. But in terms of what's been established, I think we have a really long way to go.
Coach, what's the status of Winston Tabbs? How's his recovery been looking like?
He's getting there. He's getting there. He has not been fully cleared yet, but he is back working out, and he's on the court, and he's doing really well. It's just going to take some time to get him back on the court in live play and in terms of bone-on-bone contact stuff.
Coach, you guys showed some new uniforms off last week, kind of to a lot of fanfare with the script across the front. Was that something that was already in development before you got here, or is that something your team put together?
And I think that script has been here forever. I think that's something that's great about ECU. I think what we did as a program and as a staff is we tapped back into it. We really loved it. We loved the color combination. We loved the script. So we went ahead and moved forward with that. But as far as the script, by no means are we responsible for that. That's ECU, and that's this great logo and brand that this university has, and we were fortunate enough to take advantage of it.
You guys seem pretty fired up about it. Were they excited about the change?
I think so. I think hopefully we can play as good as we think we look.
Was that a Lakers combo? Was that just by accident? It just happened?
I don't know if it's by accident, but here's what I'd say. I think the Lakers have a great uniform. I think we have the best colors there are in college athletics in the purple and gold. So we were able to mesh the two, and it worked out that way.
You talked a lot about defense. Have any guys shown ability to score consistently in workouts thus far from your team yet?
Yeah, there's been guys. We've had guys that have had, more consistent stretches scoring the basketball. I mean, if just specifically, I think Javon's had a really good summer and fall scoring the basketball. Quentin DeBunge has had a good, when he missed a little bit with a slight injury, but when he was in there, he scored the ball pretty well. I think Caleb, the freshman from Los Angeles, has done a nice job scoring the basketball. And, some different guys have stepped up here and there. Benjamin Biella has done a good job scoring the ball. RJ Felton went through a good spell this summer, but it has not been as consistent as we hope it's going to get. But again, defensively is where our focus has been early.
Are these first few practices really just kind of about, internal competition as well, and just, even for you, just to kind of get a good sense of what these guys can do?
Yeah, you know what? I don't think that's ever going to stop, whether it's the first two practices or whether we're in mid-season in January in AAC play. I think competition is always going to be at the core of what we're doing in terms of the guys. I don't think anybody can ever get comfortable in terms of where they're at. That's coaching staff, that's players. I think we're always evaluating, but there's no doubt about it. Anytime you go from the preseason to the regular season, I think competition goes to another level, because I think the guys know that minutes and playing time and rotation it's close now. I mean, we're 42 days away from playing our first game.
How are you doing trying to build chemistry on the fly within this team?
You know what? I don't know if you can have this blueprint other than spending a lot of time together, which we do as a team. We spend a lot of time together as a staff with our players. It's more than just being on the court, and it's also on the court beyond practice. So I think it's got to happen a little bit naturally, and hopefully it's happened that way. We've done things outside of practice where we've done team events, but this is the fun part. The fun part is trying to build that culture, build that team unity, and hopefully we have a good cohesive group right now.
You talked about tabs. Is there a chance he could be ready, like by the end of this year? Or is it more like looking towards like January, February, like that sort of time frame for him to be back?
You know, I think we tried early, Stephen, to pinpoint a day or a time, and I think we're not quite there yet. I think hopefully we'd love for him to be ready early in non-conference play. Just don't know yet kind of when he takes that next step, when he gets on the court with the guys, and I don't think we're too far away from that, but in terms of his readiness to compete and be in full contact, I think we'll just have to wait and see right now.
How's the competition going at point guard, or like who do you expect to compete there for playing time?
I think right now, the guys that have kind of established themselves as a point guard on this roster have been Javon Small plays a lot of the point this in the off season so far. Caleb LeCount has played a lot of point guard, and Jaden Walker, who's been dealing with a couple nagging injuries, and he should be coming back real soon. He plays on the ball some, but I think all three guys have the ability to play on and off the ball, so we may have to do it a little bit by committee where we have multiple guys, but I would also love to have 2 or 3 point guards on the floor at the same time, so it's something that I think that could be the bonus part about it.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, but on the other end of the ball, centers, how are your big men developing as far as guys in the paint?
Yeah, that's probably, you look on paper, obviously, where we're our thinnest in the front court at the 5. We have Luigi, and Luigi is a true center, and he's got the experience. But after that, we're really young. We're young. We have mostly freshmen in at that spot. Brandon Johnson's had a good, off-season camp in the summer and in the fall, playing at the 4 spot. But that's gonna be something that I don't know if we'll hit our full stride with where we're at in the front court until we get closer to our first game, and who knows, maybe even in the conference play. But between Ezra Osar and Valentino Pinedo and Elijah Jones and Brandon Johnson and Luigi, those 5 guys, and very likely we're going to have to size down a little bit and play one of our bigger wings at the 4 spot and go that kind of route. And but that can be an advantage too. We just have to get to that.
How do you feel the buy-in has been out of the guys so far, Coach?
Fantastic. I feel really excited about that. If the results are what the buy-in has been, then it's going to be a great year.
Do you take your guys around maybe some of the other programs here, maybe to a football game or just to being around those type of environments?
Yeah, absolutely. I think being a part of other ECU athletics and being around other coaches and other student athletes, I think this is what it's about. This is what college is about. So, yeah, absolutely. We've been to multiple football games together. I know our guys have been to baseball games back in the spring when the baseball team was on their run. So I think this what makes this place special is that there's this unbelievable camaraderie amongst the community, the student athletes, within the university, and our guys take full advantage of it, and we as coaches do too.
How are you adjusting to Greenville?
I love it. Greenville's an awesome place, and I'm just excited that we're here September 27th, practice number 1, and I feel like November 8th is right around the corner.
What do you think the atmosphere is going to be like November 8th for your first game? We'll see what it's like for the first practice here. Kind of calm. What do you think the first game will be like?
I hope it is a gold out. I hope we got 8,000 people in here, the whole building being in gold, and that's what we're going to push for.
Coach, speaking that season tickets are now on sale. So how do you get Pirate Nation? You're talking about the buy-in for the team, which is going well, which is awesome. What about for Pirate Nation? How do we get fans here?
Well, hopefully that they're excited about this ball club and our student athletes more than anything. Hopefully they're just excited to come see them. There's 6 returning guys, and guys have not been able to see Winston Tabbs yet on the court, and hopefully sooner than later he will be. I think we got an exciting group of young guys, whether it be freshmen or transfers, that hopefully the community is excited about. We have as awesome of a student fan base as there is, so hopefully that kind of gets the ball rolling, and kind of the general fan base wants to come in here, and they know we're going to have a great student section. But you just look at football, you look at what Coach Houston's doing, you look at soccer, you look at what Coach Higgins is doing, you look at what baseball and what they did in the spring. So we got a great fan base. Now we got to do our job and get them in here and get excited so they enjoy their time when they're in Minji's.
with Ezra Osar, we kind of know his talent level, at least coming out of high school. How has his transition been, early in college workouts?
It's been good. I think with Ezra, the biggest thing is that he can't just rely solely on his physical ability to have success. And I think that's all freshmen. I think all freshmen that are at this level are here because they've had success. They've had success in high school. They've had success in club basketball. So Ezra is very physically gifted. He's made good strides. He's gotten better and better. But there's another level mentally that I know he wants to get to. There's another level execution-wise. There's another level when you realize you're on the court with guys with the same physical attributes you have, the same size, the same athleticism. But that's no different than any freshman in the country. And Ezra's doing a good job with that, and we need him to. We need him to continue to want to grow where hopefully by January, we don't look at any of our freshmen that are playing as freshmen because we're going to need some impact from them.
You've seen a lot of these players just mostly on film or even recruiting. So when you get to see them with your own eyes, what kind of things are you looking for when you can see them up close and personal?
In terms of the guys that are here now?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a couple of the things that are a little bit more difficult to evaluate in recruiting is how consistently hard someone plays, their effort, their tenacity, their intensity. Some of those things, you can see it and you're watching a game and you go to a practice, but we get to see it every day now. We get to see it when they're having good days, when they're not having a good day, when they're struggling with something, when they got something off the court that might be distracting them. And I think that's when you really realize. So I think across the country, everybody's trying to get their teams to understand that when you step in between the lines, when you get to practice, whatever's going on off the court, which all of our student athletes in all sports have a lot going, that they have to find a way to be locked in physically, mentally, and the maximum effort. And that's where you got to grow as a team because no team has it figured out yet.
Were you pretty happy with how the schedule came together? I know you had a lot of work to do when you took the job. Were you pretty happy with that?
Yeah, excited about the schedule. I think it's going to be a great non-conference schedule. I think the mentality is always a really strong non-conference schedule to try and get us ready for one of the toughest conferences in America when we get to conference play come December 28th versus Temple. So I think absolutely, we wanted to have a challenging schedule. We hope we have strong home games. We have strong road games. We have a neutral game. We have a tournament to go play in Florida. So we hope it prepares us for a really rigorous conference schedule.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thanks,
All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Appreciate it, man. Good to see you guys. Man.
You get up and stay until 4:30.
Okay.